The world is always with the following word. All beings originated from one. One always exists in the same place. There is always a being who rules by providence. This being is God, and this being can be whole or part, but always exists. When God is the part of one, the rest is the ingredient of making the world made. All beings that exist originated from the world, and there is the thought of indistinguishable apex in the world. The thought of indistinguishable is disappearance of distinction between the bodies, and disappearance of distinction between the actions. Also, that thought is a disappearance of distinction between forms, and disappearance of distinction between matters. The thought of apex is thinking about God, a being who makes the world. The word that reminds indistinguishable apex is the pure word, and the pure word is God. The pure word is one, and all beings originated from one, so the pure word is not created or destroyed, nor is it increased or decreased. Therefore, the pure word do not have feelings or judgments, such as cleanliness or dirt, preciousness or lowliness, right or wrong. In the pure word, there is no distinction between mind, matter, and space, so there is no subjectivity or objectivity. Subjectivity is objectivity, and objectivity is subjectivity. There is no distinction between body organs, so there is no distinction between eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and body. There is no distinction between the eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and body, so it is not expressed sensually. Therefore, there is no existence that can be detected by sensory expression. If there is nothing in the pure world, the world is not made. Therefore, there is no distinction of body and mind. But the pure word has the ability to generate all beings that exist, and the pure word has the ingredient to generate all beings. Also, if there is no movement, there is no change, so there is movement. This movement has the action that makes the world made. When this action stops, the movement that makes the world disappears. So this action makes the movement be connected indefinitely. In addition, the world originated from the pure word, so the pure word has one purpose to make the world. Since there is a purpose, a form suitable for it exists in the movement. This form is providence. That is to say, the pure word is the being with the ability, the ingredient, the movement, and the providence to make the world based on one purpose. Movement changes the state of the pure word, and the pure word is divided into the active being who wants to make the world by using providence, and the passive being that is used to make the world. The connecting action that exists in the pure word exists in both parts. The pure word becomes the harmonized word that has consciousness, providence action, emotion, and sensibility, and then creates matter and space by dividing the being that make up the world through providence. The harmonized world are also God, and the being which humans generally call God or the Supreme Being is the harmonized world. The connecting action present in matter and space makes absolute time appear. The connecting action of God becomes the appearing action in the world, and this action creates the world in harmony with the connecting action that generates absolute time. Objects, plants, animals, and humans are created in the interactions between matter, space, and materials. After God divides the consciousness, providence action, emotion, and the sensibility that make up oneself, God creates animal's mind, forming being, by combining the divided parts. The being that makes the mind can be maintained by acquiring the body of the animal. But the being that makes the mind, when the body disappears, is also disassembled, and the disassembled spirit becomes the material of the spiritual world. And the connecting action of God appears in the mind and in the spiritual world. When all things are formed, various forms of bodies and actions appear, and when civilization is created, pain and pleasure, good and evil, are seen from the human point of view. But from the point of view of God, based on indistinguishable apex, various forms of bodies and actions are distinguished forms between parts of the world. Creation and destruction are phenomena in the process of change. And pain and pleasure, good and evil, are human feelings and judgments. So there is no added body and action, no creation and destruction of the whole, no pain and pleasure, and no good and evil. The mind that loses body is said to be disassembled, but not all minds are disassembled. If mind acquires a new body before mind is disassembled, or have a body of eternal life in the spiritual world, the mind-forming being is not disassembled either. The human mind originated from God, and only the human mind has the ability to recognize providence and God. So reaches the truth and can make the world of truth appear in the mind. Truth is the word that appeared in the mind. The word is the trace left by God, and the trace left by God is immortal. Therefore, the word of truth is the kingdom of heaven, and the truth is the fruit of the tree of life and the tree of life. The word of truth is eternal, and the mind-forming being living in the world of truth can eat the fruit of the tree of life, obtain the body of eternal life, and be immortal. Thus, from ancient times, the following words are told. The truth will set you free. God is spirit, and his worshippers must worship in the spirit and in truth.